Welcome to the Language of Markets live sessions. It is Wednesday, looks like Fed Day, the 19th, right? Hey, Gary, Pete, Nate, happy Wednesday. Oh, it is? Happy Fed Up Day? How you doing, Gina? Raj, Phil, good morning. All right, good to see everybody. We all making it? Everybody kind of slow today. Nobody wants to play on Fed Day? Come on, it's good stuff. All right, let's do some work. Morning, Edward. All right, so, you know what? I would like to pick up. Let's pick up right where we left off at the end of Monday afternoon. Somewhere around here, right? The end of Monday afternoon. Let's pick up right where we left off. Morning, Grace. I want to show this because this is what we do. And if you didn't see Monday, just check out the end where we're talking about using a simple method, right? We were talking about using a simple method that we can identify something in price, right? And we saw, okay, this was a type 1 off the pressure cooker. And this guy has the potential to expand this way, expand that way. You know, we looked at this market. We just took our time with it. This is what we do. All right? Simple things so we can see it. Okay? This is how I trade. And this is one of the reasons I teach. I love the teaching, but, you know, if you didn't see late Monday, just watch that clip. Because this is what it's like in my trading room. What's the YN, Nate? Oh, yeah, that's the Dow E-mini. It's like the ES E-mini, but it's the Dow E-mini. And so Monday we just grabbed it and looked and said, oh, you know, we had this market. It's going blah, blah, blah. And so when you do this, this is like seeing. All right? This is like seeing. It's like all of a sudden you're seeing a market. It's like seeing a person or being seen. Everybody knows what it's like when somebody's just talking at you, blah, 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 rather than seeing you. This is seeing a market. And then it becomes rather easy to quote one of my students to quote a student from yesterday. He had a good month, and he said, it was just stupid simple. Well, it's good. It wasn't stupid simple for me all month, but for him it was stupid simple. He said, well, you taught it to me. I said, well, that all depends on where you're at in your head at the time, right? I'm doing the same techniques, but it is supposed to be stupid simple. We're going to put that in the glossary. Trading should be stupid simple. And what he was doing was even more stupid simple than this. But this is pretty stupid simple. We just mapped the market. Said, all right, new high. Holding, bouncing, we watched it in process. I'm still trying to get this across, right? We watched it in process. Oh, we got a handle on this thing. Oh, okay. And then we can draw. Okay, the line's helping us also. You know, I think I started with putting it over here and thinking about that, but you know, in real time, you do what you do. This is all one structure. Stephen said, best advice I've seen a trader give, dumb it down. Let me pass this along, Stephen, from him. And he's an old student of mine. He got rather busy in life. And we already went through, just like a lot of you here, we already went through a lot of the hard stuff. I've given him so much work to just pound away and drill it. And then we started backing up to simple. But he got kind of busy in life with what he's doing. And he said, you know, I couldn't focus. So I focused on one simple thing with swings. He was just looking at something like this. Just and like that. He focused on one thing and one market, the oil market. And so this is what he did. He brought his focus down, right? You call it dumb it down, but you bring your scatteredness down. One simple thing, and it's not that the method's got the perfect in it. It's the presence that the focus can bring to you. Because if you turn any method mechanical, it's like, we all eat dinner at night, maybe the same time or something, right? You don't even think about it. It's much different if you just swallow your food, which I do quite often, or if you sit and enjoy your food, right? Doing it mechanical. And there's a whole new experience if you do that. Wow, we're in a hurry. We got to eat, got to watch TV, all that good stuff. And it's the same with this. No big deal if you swallow your food, right? The rest of your body might not be all that happy eventually. But yeah, Gina, mechanical versus mindful. And it does take a little bit of work to remind ourselves about this, because especially when we get a method going or some way of trading and seeing, every one of us will turn, say, all right, this is working. I'm going to fix this in cement now and try to turn it mechanical. And, okay, we can make it mechanical to a point, but the whole point of the method is to bring the mindful presence. Then your head's straight, because it hasn't been stupid simple for me all month. I mean, I'm scraping by. I'm working for it. I'm doing all right, but I'm working for it. For him, it was stupid simple, and I'm the teacher, right? But that's where we want to get to. And what we did Monday was stupid simple. I wasn't even thinking about trading the YM. Notice I didn't have a checklist. I said, we're looking at this. Oh, I get it. And this is like seeing a person. And then after the session, I just went and threw orders in. Boom. I don't know how that got turned red. And, I do my little calculation, and it was stupid. Okay, stop me out if you want. Okay, stop me out if you want. Or run. If you stop me out, okay, this was stupid simple for me to see. See, I don't have to build a whole drama around this. We already did it. And it didn't take us that long. Think about, just watch it. It didn't take us that long. And was it the secret method? This is what I want you to pay attention to. Was it the secret method? No, not really. Was it because I got some sort of special eye? No, not really, because we all know how to do this now. But you can actually listen to the tone of my voice as we finished off Monday, and it brought a certain clarity there. Like, oh, all right, we're bouncing, we're swinging, we're just doing waves here. All right, we're just doing waves. This is what we get from structuring a market. And this is some funkiness within the wave. This is that bump. And it's like, oh, stupid simple. And you know what? You don't need all that many stupid simple trades a month, a week, to do okay. Now, unfortunately, it's hard for us to get the stupid simple a lot. And Nate says, so much to gain by narrowing focus. Yeah. Double-edged sword, Nate. It's something we need to learn to work with, though, rather than for it to just happen to us by accident. And so everything's got a other side to it. If you narrow too much, let's just work this out real quick. If you narrow your focus too much, what are you doing? What's happening? Grace says, that's definitely my focus of late. What is? Narrow or scattered, Grace? Narrowing? Yeah. The thing is, we can learn to do these things as tools deliberately. And, these methods are really built to do nothing more than relax us a little bit. And so, yeah, we can learn to narrow. So what happens if we narrow, right? Probably doing a lot of fitting if you narrow too much. I mean, just think about it. Because this is something we're going to get into. So, let's say your focus is all out here, and then you narrow it in, right? Let's say you're scattered all over. It's big. Think about it this way. All right, just ground this. We've done this little exercise. Just ground it in something real. What happens if you're walking down the street and you have a wide focus? You're seeing the whole horizon, everything all at once, right? You're looking way, way out, miles. You're seeing everything. The trees, the sky, the cars, everything, right? Nate says you walk into a lamppost. Why? Because you're kind of scattered all over the place, right? You don't see what's right there in front of you. You fall into a hole. All right. Now let's say, and I've seen this a lot. If you sit in your car at a traffic light, you'll see this. It's hilarious. Now let's go the other way. Let's narrow the focus, if you're walking, to just a few inches in front of your feet. You walk into the lamp pole, right? Or narrow it to your iPhone as you're walking across the street, and you run into that's hilarious when you see that one. And so, to say it simply, to narrow your focus will exclude everything else. To have your focus too big will include so much we get a little bit overwhelmed. Yeah, the walking zombie texters, they're focused, right? Dead focused. Boom. They're like in a little trance there. Boom, right into the pole. And so focus, I mean, try it just walking. Make it simple. Look a few inches in front of your feet while you're walking. Try not to do this while you're driving, And then open it up. And then you'll find a happy ground where your mind is happy, right? Where you can see enough that you're not going to slam into it. But too much focus will exclude, and trading needs to be inclusive. But if we can bring our scattered thoughts in, then we're grounded, and then we can sort of expand back out. And this is something we can actually work on doing deliberately. We have some exercises we can do. You might not know what I'm talking about, but it's just playing with our attention a little bit. Narrow focus, wide focus. There's a general rule of thumb, and my student used it. When you got too much going and you're overwhelmed, start subtracting things. Just start, dumb it down, right? Start subtracting things. And so he focused on just one thing, and that let him be totally with that one thing. Now, don't take this as this is what you always have to do. Everybody's got their happy place with this. We just kind of grabbed this by whatever the other day, and boom. And you know what? Did the line actually belong here? Yeah. But you know what? I could have doubled and tripled, blah, blah, blah. I'm not Nostradamus, all right? You're never going to know where to perfectly put it. This gets me a nice 3-to-1 trade. I'm happy. Could I have gotten more by looking? Yes, I could have, would have, should have. But this was just so easy. Could I have trailed it? Yeah, I could have trailed it. Blah, blah, blah. This whole thing almost happened completely without me being there. And it was stupid simple. Just stupid simple. And so that's kind of where we want to get to with things. My kind of trade, right? And, we don't need many of those. I guess the point I'm trying to make with this is, because you saw me sort of line it up, and you saw me sort of get an insight with it myself. We relax, we see, it's this. Okay, if it stops me out, I'm not guessing. Okay? I'm not guessing, and I'm not begging. It just made sense. You come out of the V here, you hold the V, you start swinging, and even though this just gave me opportunity here, and then we didn't even look at V's, we just looked at this one simple thing, and sometimes it's just dead easy to see. That's all. And most of that has to do with where our heads are at. All right. Before we do a little bit more work, right? Let's keep looking at some markets into the wildness. I want to do this because this was another lesson for me. All right. Just relax. Look at this market from up here. Okay? We're not going to do anything all that technical right now. So you're looking at this market. It's swinging. What does this move feel like? Pretend this is a person. What kind of person would this be? Because we're trading with people here. All right? Just take a look, right? There's a story going on. Price is trying to tell us a story, right? Phil, it just flows down, right? This person is loafing, okay? See, this is interesting. Everybody sees a little bit different. But for Phil, this is a loafer. Why is it a loafer, Phil? I like that. Haven't heard that in a while. Someone who ran and got tired, okay? Run up and got tired, run down and got tired, resting. Grace says, like it gave up. So this is just, there's a feel to this move, There's a feel here, and then, we come off, and then this whole thing is just, anybody else? Not much going on, right? It's a little unsure. When I look at this, this reminds me of somebody just in a depression can't get their butt up off the couch, right? Look, it's confused. It's trying to go up, and it's just, it can't get out the door to go for a walk, climb back on the couch, buy a box of donuts or a pizza, turn on some TV, haven't showered in 3 days. It's depressed. Help me, I can't get up, right? See, this thing is just depressed. It's not, it's trying. This reminds me of just depression. See, it's trying. It's trying. Now, it took me talking about this with 2 or 3 people before I got it. Now, help, I've fallen and I can't get out. It needs a medic bracelet, right? We'll do the lines in a minute. If you want to get a better feel for this, I'll take you into, let's get closer in, okay? Let's get closer in here. This is back when, we were traveling like this, okay? So, I'm long somewhere in here. I get long. I want to play for, I'm long the rhythm. Right? We talked about this guy. I'm long the rhythm. This thing is making some kind of a rhythm. I'm long the rhythm here. Boom, boom, boom. So imagine you're long the rhythm. Okay? Just imagine you're long in here. And you're watching it go up. All right, you got hopes. Look, looks good. Nice entry. Look. Boom, boom, boom. Swap, boom, gap, mountain, hold, looks good. I'm trying to get us to get a little feel for this. I know nobody else really does this, but do it. All right, you're still fine. Okay, you're pulling back. You're still good. Just imagine you're long. Now you're like, ew, it's got no more juice to go up. And you got stops underneath here. Okay, it's just pulling back. Tail. Now we're just going down. So let's imagine, I'm going to put you in my spot. I don't get ticked out. Just barely in here, okay? Okay, no big deal. Okay? Our little guy's getting up off the couch again. So if you're long, imagine, just a little wash, now it's ready to go. If you're long, imagine that. Here we go. Here we go. Can't get up off the couch again. Right? Do you see the feel, the heavy. I mean, we have a swing. You're still long. You're all right. Here we are. We're going to try. Right? Look, they will not get off of this thing. You're still not ticked out. All right, here we go. Now we're ready to roll. So do you imagine you're trying to get going, you're trying to get going, you're trying to get going. Here we go. Yes, this guy's got a head of steam now. Going to kick that depression. Right? It just keeps on going. So there's a feel to this thing. Now let's draw some lines. So we start with something like this. And we're in the session, we're talking. That's what is. Okay? That's what is. It's going, it's going, it's going. And that's what isn't. Even if we draw a sliding parallel on here, it's just, it ain't doing that no more. We're actually on this side of the line. I think we're structuring a market. Now, I go to break even at some point because you know what? I ain't dealing with this guy's depression. Because you know what? It feels like depression to me. The whole position just feels wrong. And it takes talking to like 3 people about this to where I get it. The whole position just feels stupid and wrong. Why? Because I'm resisting this downplay here. And we know when we're doing that. So I go to break even. I get busted out at break even. Now, let's map this market. You ready? So let's finally, think about this. I like the gap. This is like a chart rip for me. All right, brand new world. Structure it. Like that. Find the line it's on. Okay? Find the line it's on. We're going to do it the same way we did it this way. Okay? Just we're going to use the bottom side. Find the line it's on. Can you see the line? Price is on. Can you see that? It's a multi-pivot line. We can see the line. Price is on. This starts to frame things up. Use a sliding parallel now. Now, I'm out of break even. Same side. It's heavy, right? They can't get going. It's heavy, heavy. Now I feel much better because I've been trying to push the river. I've been trying to push this long forever here. I gave it a shot. Didn't work. And it took me a while just to figure out this thing is pushing down. Even this trade that I took, to get long, I was going with it, but it's still, and it's like a tree branch about to break. So imagine it's like a tree, it's like a tree branch about to break. I mean, it could expand this way, and that's what I was going for, but it didn't. So it took me a while. Luckily, this thing gave me some time. It took me a while. So now it comes up yesterday for whatever reason and lands. Do you guys see, as excited as this guy is, as there's our gap mountain again. We got bunches of them. This comes with a pretty easy scenario of 20 ticks to just play down to this line, or play for whole new lows if you want. One of the people I was talking to was looking at this much data, and what I was saying was, if you're looking at that much data, you should just still be short this thing, because you got short somewhere along here. See the gap? And no matter what went on, you should just still be short, whether the line worked for you or not. But now getting short in here just feels right, even if I get stopped out. And that's current. This is what happens today. And so you see we land on this line again. All right, so this is how you can be on the wrong side and then turn around and get on the right side. And it took me forever. Does everybody get this? Market is just, as much as they baiting us to the upside, it ain't going. Why fight it? I tried once. One of the things that kills us is trying to play reversals all day long, every time. If it reverses, it reverses. Then we go with it. But until then, this is what it's doing. This is it. This is, boom. And so you see we have a nice little line here, and we can track it. And I'm happy. Whether this worked, didn't work, whatever. That's what price is doing. Period. The end. Until it's not. Gina says, you talking to me? If you think I'm talking to you, you got something on your mind. Maybe there's a few people think I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm giving you my story here. And I'm telling you, get a feel for price, right? It's, you ever been in a position and you're just trying to get that thing going, and it gets you going a little bit, and it just gets you going a little bit. You're going the wrong way. There's a feel to it. Learn to get that feel. Over focus on reversals. Yeah, it's not just you, Gina. Talking to me, talking to a half dozen people. Winston says, I find myself taking more reversal trades with trend trades. That's a good idea, right? So a reversal trade with a trend trade is when price is doing this, right, Winston? We flip things. And when it's doing this, we take a reversal, right? Is that what you're talking about, Winston? That's a different kind of reversal than this kind of reversal down here. And then we can go with it. But if we're always shooting for a reversal, see, this guy here looked good for a reversal, but this is a type 2. See, watch, boom, 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 type 1, type 2. One of the key things when you're looking at reversals, look at that gap over here. And now the thing you might want to do is wait for this guy to reverse. Wait for this guy to get beat, rather than try to get long this guy. See, there's a difference here. And so we have to understand things. I mean, this market, it showed us. It gave us one heck of a nice, and watch, it feeds on each other, right? It gave us one heck of a nice pop, reversal doesn't work, backside. Everybody see that? Boom, 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 boom. Zoom. The reversal trade does not work. And now look where we're at, right? And so this is just simple. If we're always playing for reversals, boom, 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 and a market, and come on, we followed this market from here. Now, there are times where reversals are the norm, all right, and there's plenty of room. But in recent markets, it's not a good idea. In the Aussie, reversals are fine. You just go with what you see. Okay, but you got to watch. See, the Aussies just poke their head up. Just pokes its head up once. So you got to be careful. When it reverses, it will let us know. Phil, you notice 110.70 type 2. Yes. Yeah, you saw that. Now, let's just look at this current market. Same map we had. Look at the mountain. Yes, reversal. No, right? Look at these sellers. Right in the gap. I know I'm moving fast with this. So excitement into here just looks like, why play reversals? I mean, when it's time to play reversals, guess what? We're going to be on the other side of this. Play reversals. Let's look at a case. Let's look at a case. And if these guys turn, they'll tell us all about it. Let's look at a case where we could use our framework with things. Okay? And work a little bit of reversal. So here we are on the New Zealand. I'm just trying to make trading stupid simple a little bit. Price is going down, 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 down. All right. Tuesday. We come barreling up. We all know how to draw swings. And right here, you should immediately see them rip through this thing. Where did they come from? There. Is this playing some type of reversal? Yeah, this is playing some type of reversal. It's dead simple. There's room. We can draw a median line set. Doing its thing. What else could we do that's dead simple in this? What else seems to go with this when it's dead simple? What else could we do that's dead simple in this guy when we have a swing? What else can we do to project this, even if we didn't have that? So a new high confirms a low. It's not very complicated, right? Using LSB. There's no real LSB here, though, Grace. Maybe that, maybe. But why don't we just take the swing itself? Oh, use that last swing broke. Gotcha. I got to come up with a distinction. Because although it's true that that's the last swing broke, most of the time when I'm talking last swing broke, we're using a minor like that. As a last swing broke. And although it's true that this is also now a last major swing broke, it's true, right? It's true. it's just a mouthful to say minor last swing broke, but maybe we should. But usually, although that's true, because it is the last swing broke, normally I'm talking about some sort of a swap when I'm talking about LSB, or last swing broke. And it's the kind of thing that we'll use, for maybe like an entry, some kind of a swap, whether it's at the top or at the bottom. Some kind of a swap in there, just for clarification. So that would be a major. The last swing broke here would technically be like this. See, there's a little swing in here and a little swing in here. See that? So that would be this sort of a model there. It's all in swings. It's all in swings. But this right here is really stupid simple. And, I want you to see that, these lessons, they're applicable. This was yesterday, this isn't, last week, last September. This is yesterday. And then price falls into it, and then you have today. And that's current. So this is a case where you got to grind. Okay, I'm willing to play the long grind up. It's giving me some good information here. Nothing wrong with that. Some good information. So we're just kind of making the rounds with our pressure cookers right now. And that would be a type 1, right? That would be a type 1. Now, when these markets do turn, we'll get on board. We'll get on board. But it gets very difficult to keep playing for a turn in markets that keep pushing. And when they're done pushing, they're going to let us know. I get the feeling they're almost done pushing. Okay? Let's look at something I'm looking at right now. But I'm scared. Okay? Let's look at something I'm looking at right now. This is a 240 Swiss. Okay? Feel the sellers. See the gap? Down, hard. Sellers down, hard. Now let's watch. Expanding, it's a little weird. Tail, pressing down. Tail. We actually have a swing going on now. I'm working this for somebody I worked this with last week. So we can watch. We have another swing going. So we can see us doing swings up into that tail. What are we going to do? Are we going to swing again? Yes, we're going to swing again. Are we going to follow this line? See, price is on a definite little mission here. Hard up, zoom, boom. Okay, we got us a little swap here. And we're still swinging. Now we're on the back side of this guy. So we definitely got us a little swap going on here. Now we're coming back through. Okay, now we're coming back through. And I'm looking at this in terms of like a pressure cooker. So even though that's where the swap happened, this is where they took off from. So I'm watching this and I'm saying, all right, is this, now let's look at swings. Keep going with the swings, guys. I'm just working this market, right? Look at swings. So maybe we're looking at this bigger swing now. Okay, so we have a definite swap. So now you can see the pressure cooker aspect, can't you? Everybody see that? Of this swing? And we have a definite swap. And we're kind of thinking like this. But you know what? I ain't ready yet. This market is going down. Because you can do 100 of these on the way down and just keep getting stopped out. It's a small swap. Yes, it is. It is. So let's watch this guy live. I ain't ready to put my money in this guy yet. I was thinking about it this morning. I ain't ready to do it. Just because we have this swap right in here. I ain't ready to do it yet. So I'll watch. Everybody get my meaning? I don't want to play little reversal swaps all day long in a market that's just going down. And we do the same thing in markets that are driving up. It does feel weak, doesn't it? Maybe a type 3. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. It does feel weak. So this is some live work. I did take action on that. One more thing. Actually, we'll come back to this. You know what? I'll let you guys think about this. We were following the outside bars, right? We'll come back. We followed it. Hit. New low. Now what do you see? So let's say we're doing swings. I know, I'm kind of scattered today. So, outside bar, okay, hold. Outside bar, hold. Outside bar, hold. Now what? Is the outside bar holding? Not really. No. So this is like looking for little clues in price. The outside bar is not holding. Now let's watch. Let's watch. Now what do you see? It's coming into today. A swing, yes. What else? Outside bar, new high. Do you see the difference, Nate? See the outside bar switch? The only thing we looked at this market in was swings and outside bars. So I know we went off topic a little bit, but it was interesting when we did it. And you know what I think we'll do? I think we're going to make outside bars one of our methods. Okay, we're going to create it. Not today, but we're going to throw it on the list of, because we worked so much with outside bars and we've done so many good lessons on them. I think we're going to make outside bars and we're going to create it here fresh new. All right, we're going to make this one of the frameworks we use because this was stupid simple. Yeah, I look forward to it too, Gary. We'll create it on the go. I like outside. Where I know we talked outside bars, Edward, right? You guys have seen, most of you have seen them in my sessions, and so this is Fed shenanigans coming into today, and this is just stupid simple to me. Where it goes, who knows? But there's just an obvious little swap going on there. Where it goes, who knows? But something changed. All right, let's go back to more simple than that because I'm getting a little bit scattered here. Now, we're going to do type 3 pressure cookers. Before we do it, I had somebody ask me they're trading a 10-minute pound and doing it with a whole lot of clarity. But I had somebody send me a chart and ask me if they got the 3 types right. So I thought it'd be good for us to do a little review here. Okay? And this will help him clarify as well. So let's do a little review on the 3 types of trades since we're going to be working on type 3 pressure cookers. Now what he drew, and he had a series of charts just following it real time. So what he drew was a simple MPL, meaning multi-pivot line. It's just selling, 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 and he's following price. And you see it, it's making new lows. We can see it making new lows. And he had a question on me because he was trading this. He had a question about type 1, type 2, and type 3 trades. And so the 3 types of trades are always going to be relative to the structure you're using. So for instance, if you're using swings, okay, if you're using swings, for instance, in this yen, if you're using swings like this, swing, swing. This is going to be a type 1 to keep pushing this coil here. So type 1 is to keep pushing these sellers down. This is going to be a type 2, which just means price is swinging like this, but now it's expanding to be a big boy swing. It's just expanding, create a little space, so expand and continue. And then a type 3, which is where we were just talking about, where we were talking about getting in trouble playing type 3s in the wrong places, would be for this guy to actually reverse back here. And you saw me in the New Zealand yen try to look for a type 3 change in behavior, but price never really confirmed it. And same thing here, price never confirms it. It actually confirms it's going lower. And so that's the 3 types of trades relative to swings. Now back over here, we could do 3 types of trades relative to swings, and the model will look something like this. This would be a push to just keep pushing along this road. This would be an expand like we just looked at in the yen. And this would be a type 3 reverse. So it's either expanding to keep going, or it's an actual reversal relative to swings. Now, whenever we talk these options for a trade, the principle is universal. So here it's going to be relative to a horizontal MPL. It can be relative to a gap if you want it to be. And so if you just hit this guy here, you're pushing it. If you let it pop a little ways and just say double it out, that's a type 2. And here is a type 3. So these are the 3 types. relative to this. Now, the way you start to figure out what might be appropriate for you is first you learn how to do this, and then you practice. And as you practice, you begin to look at which one worked, which one played, and begin to look at the context the market was in. And all this starts to go into your learning, starts to go into your learning, starts to go into your learning. And Phil, yeah, that's right. One of the clues we use here also, Phil says right into the gap, one of the clues we use also is a lot of times this pop is coming right into a gap. It's just letting off some pressure. You know, it's just, a lot of times it's just letting off a little bit of pressure to keep going. And you don't know which, but if you can get this far, then we can start to do our own research with it. So this would be a push relative to this. So this would be a type 1. And I say push because it's like momentum. Relative to the dotted MPL. If I wanted to mark out say this gap, okay? If I wanted to mark out this gap, see, nice little gap here, then my three types of trades would be, this would be a push relative to this. Notice this. Notice the difference in structure, guys. I'm going to make this little guy green because it's not really a gap. It's at the base of a gap. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. Just notice the difference. So that would be a type 1. And as price comes up here, any trade up in here would be a type 2. Basically, does everybody understand? Expand. So we're expanding this leg from this and this. So this would be an expand and then continue down. That would be a type 2. Relative to green MPL. And this deserves a lot bigger of a lesson. But I wanted to do a review, especially for some people that weren't quite clear on this. And this over here, anything back here, will be a type 3 reverse relative to now, if you don't have this green box, then guess what? Maybe you have this yellow box. What type of trade is this relative to the yellow? And if you're at home, play along, please. And this is one of those, if too many things confuses you, don't use them. Use one, subtract. Thank you, Nate, right? It's a type 1 for the yellow. I like to have majors and minors going on here because then I can use the interplay because I can use, say, a bump gift into a reverse. If price turns here and goes up, what is that relative to the yellow? If price comes down, turns here, relative to the yellow, what is that? So we're not only learning type 1, 2, and 3, we're learning, okay, let's relate it to what we're using. So if I take a trade here, forgetting about the green, okay, let's forget there's a green box. I'm just trading swings. So relative to the yellow, so let's say I'm in here like this. I want you guys to. This is what the member did. He's looking at it like this. Okay, he's looking at swings. Something like this. And if I take a trade down here relative to the yellow, yes, Grace, good. It's a try, right? Yes. So you see the little try box. Very good. Yes, it would be a try relative to the yellow. Very good. So you've been practicing. That or you've been too hung up on tries. Nate says type 3 if he's looking higher. Well, relative to the yellow, this is the push. This is the try. This is the type 2. This is type 3 relative to the yellow. All right, so I just thought I'd throw that in. Now, there was such clarity in my student's thinking, right? He's not chasing it. He just says, oh, I'm going to do a type, and he knows what he's doing. This is beautiful, okay? This is gorgeous. And he knows what he's doing. I'm going to do a type 3 here. Might be wrong. Might be right. He knows what he's doing. And so then he can evaluate whether he's got a problem with this or not, or whether it's working for him. Now, I don't think he actually gets filled on this, but I wanted to review this for him. So this is a type 1 relative to the green. This is a type 2 that aborts. And this is a type 3 relative to the green. And, this all has to do with a median line, believe it or not. Price makes a mountain. Type 1 before the median. No, okay. Type 2, yeah, maybe. Or type 3 when price gets back to the median line. See? This works with median line sets. Type 1 push. See, look at what the set center, action, reaction. I did a blog post on this, so you guys check it out. This is center, action, reaction is expand. So the type 2 is an expansion. Look what the median line's doing. The median line is saying we're expanding this, right? This is the center. Let's push. Let's expand. Boom. And here is the reverse. It's just sloped. And then there's even, Grace, there's even a little try in here sometimes. Okay, so we do want to understand something about type 1, 2, and 3 trades. And so this is just beautiful, clear, easy, stupid simple. Right? You make your choice on it. If you're using the yellow box, well, type 1 ain't cutting it. Look at them. Tails, 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 swap. Here's where you might want to come in and use a little last swing broke if you're using the yellow. That's my little last swing broke here. Something like that. So this market obviously ripped pretty good, pretty healthy. And it looks like we're trying to hold that. So that was just a little ditty on the 3 types of trades. Just know what it's relative to. You don't need to use 2 boxes. You can use 1. And that way you know, okay, am I doing a reversal? Am I doing a try? What am I doing? This is a little bit of a different structure than a gap because it's this is all the squash area here. It's all squash. It's all squash. But this is just very clean thinking. Very clean thinking in that. So that's what I love about that. So we're going to work on type 3s. Before we do, I did have a question. You guys sent me a chart asking me about Netflix and a pressure cooker. So I want to go over this real quick. I appreciate your questions. So you see what he's drawing. Okay? He's drawing a pressure cooker on Netflix. This is Netflix daily stock. Now, remember my instructions for the pressure cooker. So when you draw this, you always want to come back to, Grace, don't shun the try just yet. All right? Little guy's got its place. All right? The minute you say, that's it, I'm sick of you, I want nothing to do with you ever again, you know, he could have been your friend now, and it's going to change. So you just got to keep him at a certain distance there, don't be too available. That's all. We want to be, I'm never going to do that one again. And by the way, learning the 3 types of trades is very good for the focus training, okay? If you're finding yourself a little overwhelmed, focus on one type at a time. See, this is where the practice comes in. And this is where I haven't been, dragging us enough to just do one at a time, one for a long time. So practice on 1s, practice on 2s. If you're overwhelmed, just study type 1s until you become, say, a master of type 1s. Type 1s will have a certain situation that they fall in where they always seem to hold. And so some of you guys like the expansion. Then you focus on the type 2s. We've just gotten started this month with these set of lessons. If you give it time, it's all going to start to soak and come together, right? We are doing training along the way. But if we look at this Netflix stock, this pressure cooker's got a problem, right? It's not following the instructions. And so if you're going to draw it, make sure, because I've posted the chart with instructions. Phil says type 2 is what I want to train. Well, you know what, Phil? If you want, send me some charts of your practice of that. All right? You guys ain't alone here. You can either share in the thing here, or if you want, send me some charts with it. I interact with everybody. And then you can focus on type 2s. And certain things lend themselves to a type 2. Right? Certain action reactions, median lines, lend themselves to type 2 trades. And then be open, maybe type 3s you start to learn afterwards. So you spend time with each one. See, this is what I call like single form training. You can spend time with each one. If we were doing this in a course format, we would just be doing this one thing over and over and over. But it's a group format, so it's a little bit different. So I got to balance things out. But if you're doing this, find the instructions and see if it follows it. The instructions were find a low or confirmed high and follow it back up into its swing. So if I'm looking at what he's got marked as a swing, neither of these are confirmed. Okay? And this is practice. This is what I expect to happen in practice. Okay? You go and you mess around and you do your best and see what happens. Now let's go look at Netflix really quickly. And see if we can dice that out. And while you're practicing, I want you to look for clean, easy to see ones. And so this is kind of what he's got marked out. And so there's no real where it fell off the cliff from, and it's not halfway down a thing. Okay? And he's got it, looking like this. And so this is not real easy to see like this. And, we always want to look at the last 1. And you know what's really helpful in these, especially when you get one. All right? This is when it's showing you a certain kind of organ. When you get one of these and the reaction leg lands in it. All right? So this is almost like a perfection. And as you see, it happens quite often. And so in this model, you'll see we break a low, follow it back up, and it's about the same size reaction leg. In this, we can't do that anywhere. See, if we're looking at this like this, and this is his markings, and thanks for the chart, I'm not picking on anybody. So remember, this is going to be part of the whole impulse leg. Can you guys see the pressure right here? Can you see it? Can you see the pressure? Boom. Boom. Buyers meeting sellers. You guys see it? It's not a pressure cooker yet, but it's sure enough thinking about it. Now, what you marked was a good structure. You marked a good structure of sellers. But it's not a pressure cooker. It's a good structure of sellers. Now, this guy can expand either way. What I'd love to see in Netflix is this thing to go ripping through the high and come back. Yeah. Yeah. And so we want to see as clean as possible while we're practicing. We want this guy to be clean. And you want to follow the instructions. See, somebody sent me a chart of a nice clean one of a stock that I'm now putting on my radar, which is, as soon as I find it, let me find it, and I'll find it. That ain't it. Where's it at? All right, we'll put it up there. Give me just a second. It's called, I think it's called G. I. Do you see it? See, this is a beauty. Watch. This is a beauty. New low. Follow it back up. Ah. All right? See, that's what you want to see. Now look at the swing also. Now I'm leaving out tons of little details on this pressure cooker, mainly because I want everybody to trip over them themselves for a while. So I'm leaving out a lot of the proclivities, a lot of the little details. I just added one here about the same size swing. I'm leaving out a lot because I want everybody to trip over it. And then when we come back and do it again, it'll be like more of an advanced session because now we'll look a little deeper into it. We'll take another run at it. So I want everybody to start, just if you can do this, you can start to see things like this. So that's a beauty right there. That's a beautiful guy right there. It's just sitting there and it's saying, ah, yes. Just like that. And so that's the kind of work we want to do in our practice. And take your time with it. And then practice with these things as much as you can, real time. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Practice with these things as you can in real time. Now, speaking of tries, Grace, we left our little markings out. This is the weekly cat. We were looking at this particular try here, weren't we? Hey, this particular try. So let's keep an eye on that. So we're looking at this weekly cat. This is what we marked. Proclivity. I'm using my big words now, Edward, right? I got my big words now. All right. I have other words for that, but I thought proclivity was kind. So this is our little try. See, this is our swing, 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 try. You see the median line meet with the try? Of course, I got my head smashed the last time I tried that in the CAD, but who knows, maybe this time. So watch. Type 1, push. Nope. Type 2, expand, continue, maybe. Type 3, right back at this line. If you turn this whole thing horizontal, you'll see the 3 types of trades that are the process of a median line. And so this is a swing down, and we don't know yet. We don't know yet. These are weeklies. We're taking our time with the weeklies. See what happens. But this is that try. We're looking at that try right in here. See, you got a little swing, and crack. And so I'm going to be a little bit circumspect on my try. I think the last try I did tried to take my head off, because this thing's still going up, is it not? Still going up. And this guy is trying. But you know what? I'm warming up to the downside here. I'm warming up to the downside here. I have a nice gap. So I know we didn't end up with our lesson too focused today, but let's get it started at least. Type 3s. I'm going to use gold. I'm going to find something here in gold. All right, I'm going to up the time frame. So we need to make our model. Let's make this about 2500 tick, because that looks nice. All right, so there's something I want you to see about the pressure cooker also. And that is let's draw this out real quick. We want to get familiar in taking all of this nonsense and structuring it. Okay, you guys see what I've built so far? There's a new high. That would be our pressure cooker. And that would be a type 1 on the pressure cooker. Okay, so new high. But look at what this is all impulse leg. See, this is one of those things that we want to learn the insides of how price moves, And so this is gap, right? The pressure cooker is a gap. It's a projected mountain. But this is a gap too, isn't it? And so we call this the impulse leg. Notice that there's expand, contract, expand, continue, rather than expand, reverse. So notice that the impulse leg is made up in my model of half and half, of two gaps. So we can see that the impulse leg is made up of two gaps. Now, if I go like this, and I go like this, and I go like this, I can see I have a new high. Actually, let's back it up and use this one here, okay? Yeah, let's use this one for our type 3. And then we'll work onto this. So if this is my set of swings, everybody see that this is my set of swings? Does everybody see where the pressure cooker is in this? Yes. Follow it back up. And although it's a bit funky, this is gap, this is gap, okay? The whole impulse leg is like two gaps. Now, if I get short here on this pressure cooker, it's a type 1. And you see, we're getting a little bit of juice from this. Everybody see the two gaps on the way up now? See, there's a straight run, and then there's gap again. Yeah, see it, Raj? And so, in a perfect model, our impulse leg is measured like this. And so later on, one of our frameworks will be using this box rather than this box. Give me time. Well, maybe we'll do that one next. But we've diced it up. All right, so minus all of this, we're now looking at this. We're going to have to draw this model the other way if we're going to use this as a reference chart. Okay, so that would be a type 1. Somewhere up here would be a type 2. But I want you guys to all see, right? Expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. That's all price moves in. It's just moves in these pulses. It's pulsing, right? Boom, boom, boom. It's pulsing. It's just buyers and nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. You never have all hot. You never have all cold. You never have only pain. You never have only pleasure. Everything is moving like that. So, what type of trade, if I get long here, is this relative to this pressure cooker? Now, there's something interesting about this whole thing, actually. Would 901 also be a pressure cooker type 3? 9. I'm not sure what you're seeing, Raj. But you know how to see it, right? Just look at your swings. But this will be a type 1, this will be a type 2, this will be a type 3. Does that make sense? Getting a lot of funny looks there, so I must be off today. Does that make sense? Type 1. push. We have to come up with a reference chart, a good solid reference chart for type 3s. Type 2. Expand, then continue. And then type 3. Reverse. Based on this guy. Does that make sense? Type 1 to keep pushing it this way. Type 2 to expand and then continue, or type 3 based on this guy. Do you guys see what's throwing you here? I want us to run into these complications. You guys see what's throwing you? There's something throwing everybody off here, which is, maybe we won't use this type 3 as an example. What's throwing everybody off is we were going down, right? And we swapped to going up. Yeah, good, Raj. The higher high. Yeah, we swapped to going up. Now notice this type 3 is also a type 1 of this one. So everybody see how it turned into? I know, now we're getting all tricky and everything. Yes, it expanded. Yes. If I was to just 86 this swing out, then it's an easy to see type 1, right? If I was just to 86 that swing all out, then it's an easy to see, type 1. Just a different point of reference, absolutely. Now, we need to get used to seeing these kind of things. If you're confused, don't worry. You don't have to do type 3s. But this is a type 3 where it does this. I really want, before I go too far into it, I want everybody to sort of practice. Find clean charts. Work with it. So this, depending how you look at it, if we do that, definite type 1, boom, easy trade, huh? Fits everything. Break through, boom, come back. All right, so I see that's causing more confusion than anything, so we'll leave that. We'll leave that be for now. Well, relativity theory, isn't that an Einstein thing? I don't know. I don't get it, Edward. I don't get it. Relative, just think about your relatives, right? One thing related to the other thing. That's it. If you want to stop your car, don't turn your radio knob. That's not going to stop your car. It's not related to the brakes. Please, no, not the relative. No, relative's easy. It's just relative. Relate. The same as. Los mismo, right? Same thing. Relative. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's keep, we went over type 1, 2, and 3. Let's keep working on finding a good type 3. It gets a little confusing. And don't worry. You know what? Sit through it. You don't have to do type 3s. Really. My favorite with the pressure cooker is type 1s. But the thing is, it comes with all 3. And as you see, it shows up in the markets all over the place. You want to see this kind of weirdness where an pivot expands. You want to see all the weirdness to it. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to plug it in. Some days you're going to see it just like we saw it on Monday and say, oh, that's just easy. Do that. Type 2s add a level of complication to the whole thing. And so we'll keep following some of our markets. We'll work with that. And there's so much going on. The markets are really fun right now. Right now, I want to keep an eye on this euro. Okay? Because if it does want to bust, then it's time to start playing to the upside. But you know what? I love Fed meetings that do this. I love them. I love Fed meetings that do that. It's just running into something we all know how to map, a simple multi-pivot line and a simple swing. That's all. You want to use the median line? Use the median line we were working on. Right? So we want to get used to seeing this. We want this. We don't want to be buying it up here. It's one of the hardest things to learn until it becomes normal that, okay, you can hit this, but this is it. The market's going down. Hit this one. It's one of the hardest things to learn. And when that quits working, then go the other way. Then go the other way. All right? We'll keep an eye on this Aussie because, it's wanting to. It's wanting to swap. We haven't done work on the Aussie here in a little while, but just take a look. If you're unsure, what's it running into? This guy? All right. And go from there. We'll do some work on the Aussie and see, you know what, maybe it's time for this thing to get up off the couch and take a walk. Maybe? I don't know. No reason to get excited on Fed Day, though. So don't buy here. So let's wrap it up there. This lesson was mostly to get a handle on 1, 2, and 3 trades, and then we went around the market seeing some of the easy push trades that was there. So let's wrap it up. We'll come back Friday and see if we can find a good solid type 3 and wrap this little method up for a while and go into some other things. The other lesson was subtract when things get complicated. Okay? Subtract when things get complicated. Trading really can be just seeing the swings, hitting the swings, no matter what the excitement looks like. See, these are those reversals that just keep getting you. And I don't know how else to explain it other than try to be long all of these. And then you'll start to get what I'm talking about. And then you'll realize, you know what, I need to be hitting these baits for a while until things actually change. I need to be hitting these baits up here. There's a rhythm to it. Now, I've recorded some of my trades, so maybe I'll put them up on the blog. You guys take care. We'll see you Friday. Thanks for showing.